If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Liverpool transfer news as Luis Suarez monitored and striker confirms intention to leave. Liverpool transfer news as Luis Suarez, not that one, is linked with a move to Anfield, and one current Red striker has confirmed his intentions to leave the club this summer. Liverpool moved back into the Champions League places and level with Manchester United in the race for the top 5 spots by beating West Ham United this weekend. But that hasn't stopped the rumour mill from churning out some more links ahead of the summer. When the time comes, Liverpool will have to be back in the market again to find improvements ahead of the next campaign, something that will prove a lot easier if a place in UEFA's top competition is secured. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. We start with a familiar name, though it's not the one you think. Luis Suarez, Sporting CP. No, not that one. This Luis Suarez plays for Sporting CP, with a host of clubs, including Liverpool, according to Sportsboom, keeping an eye on him ahead of the summer. At 28, he is an unlikely target for the Reds, but someone could feasibly snap him up when the season comes to an end. With 29 goals and 6 assists to date this term, he will be drawing interest. Taking on the mantle from Victor Gyokeres, who is starting to find some form for Arsenal, Suarez is clearly an excellent finisher and he has good movement. Most of his games across his career, however, have come in the second tier in Spain. It would be another big step up for the Colombian to move to the Premier League. Oakley Cannonier to leave. Young Liverpool forward Oakley Cannonier has confirmed that he will be leaving the club in the summer. For those unfamiliar, he was the quick-thinking ball boy on that night against Barcelona. I will leave at the end of the season and am just looking for regular games, Cannonier, now 21, confirmed to The Athletic. With my age, that is all I want to be doing. The last 18 months have been really difficult with no games to look forward to. You train all week and then there is nothing at the end of it. It's been pretty crap. Mo Salah looks set to agree heartbreaking deal after latest update. Mo Salah could be set to agree a difficult deal. That's after the latest update on his future. BBC Sport reports that Mo Salah looks increasingly likely to leave Liverpool this summer. That would see him agree a deal with a club other than Liverpool for the first time in a decade. It would almost certainly be with the Saudi Pro League, who have courted Salah for many years now. Though, there is still the potential of America calling for the Egyptian. Liverpool's number 11 will enter the final year of his contract at the end of the season, leaving really just one window for the Reds to get a fee should Salah decide he wants to depart. It would require both the club and the player to decide the time is right, however. Mo Salah to Saudi Arabia, situation summary. Salah is currently under contract until June 2027, having signed a 2-year extension in April 2025. He is the club's joint highest earner, alongside Virgil van Dijk, with a reported salary of £400,000 per week. Because he will enter his final 12 months this summer, BBC Sport and other outlets report that an exit is increasingly likely to ensure Liverpool receives a transfer fee rather than losing him for free in 2027. Primary suitors, Al Ittihad, Al Hilal, Al Qadsiya, and Neom SC have all been identified as interested parties. Al Ittihad, in particular, reportedly opened concrete talks with Salah's agent, Rami Abbas, in early 2026. Valuation shift. While Al Ittihad saw a £150 million bid rejected in 2023, recent reports suggest Liverpool may now accept a significantly lower fee, potentially less than half that amount, due to his age, 33, and expiring contract. Potential earnings. Market experts suggest Salah could earn up to €200 million, £168 million, per year in Saudi Arabia, where he is viewed as a marquee signing. Salah has 7 goals and 8 assists in 28 matches across all competitions this season, a decline from the 29 league goals he scored in 2024-25. Following a December interview where he expressed frustration with head coach Arne Slot, reports from Foot Mercado indicate that Salah is now much more open to a move to Saudi Arabia than in previous years. Analysis. Liverpool are currently paying Salah an enormous amount of money but struggling to get anything like the kind of value they hoped for from the deal. He just isn't hitting the levels he was a year ago, and at his age, it feels unlikely he'll recapture that form. Ironically, the reason for Salah potentially wanting out is that he could make more money by heading to Saudi. That door has been open for years, but he's been unwilling to walk through it as he wanted more records, etc. But if those are off the table, we can see Salah deciding to take the money while it's there this summer. Liverpool, too, will see the financial benefit of saying goodbye. It won't be easy, but this really could be it. Difficult. Jeremy Jacquet decision threatens start of Liverpool career. Liverpool wrapped up the signing of Jeremy Jacquet in the January transfer window. Identified as one of the finest centre-back prospects in Europe, Richard Hughes moved ahead of Chelsea and others to secure a deal for the 20-year-old. It was agreed that Jacquet would remain with his boyhood club, Rennes in League One, until the end of the season before moving to Anfield on a deal worth up to £62 million. That was to allow Jacquet to help Rennes fulfill their season objectives, qualifying for European football. But disaster struck for Rennes and Jacquet in early February when he suffered a dislocated shoulder. He hasn't since been spotted in the lineup, with surgery mooted as a potential solution. Rennes manager Frank Hayes was asked when the young stopper would be back in the lineup ahead of their game against Toulouse this weekend. Surgery beckons for Jacquet? I don't know precisely yet, he said according to West France. Jeremy is receiving treatment, undergoing rehabilitation, he's working in the gym, that's where we are at the moment. The problem that Jacquet has got is that surgery would surely end his season with only 3 months left of the campaign. West France also reports that this shoulder problem has struck before, and that surgery is a way to correct it once and for all. But the report adds that Jacquet could be somewhat torn between potentially helping his club out by avoiding surgery and jeopardizing the beginning of his Liverpool career if it's put off. Jacquet could have surgery before Liverpool move. If he were to go under the knife, Jacquet's chances of seeing him back in League One would be extremely slim, the report reads. When such a weakness exists, the risk of multiple relapses is higher, hence the option of surgery. The Reds clearly have hopes to have the France under-21 international on board for pre-season, plans which would be thrown into disarray if he delays surgery until beyond the end of his season with Rennes. We also know that Jacquet was keen to help his boyhood club on the pitch, to achieve their European objective, the report reads. He may well be torn between the desire to play again for Rennes and the desire to do everything he can to successfully integrate into Liverpool.